Hello again. Just here to talk to you about BRC non-conformities. Now, it's difficult. It's difficult for you as the site. It's difficult for you if you're the auditor as well. Nobody likes non-conformities, not even auditors. You might think that we like this. Oh, yeah, I found one. It's actually not the case. The more non-conformities we raise, the more work we've got to do in reviewing the corrective and preventive actions to close them out. So actually, nobody likes non-conformities. But first thing I just want to say is the auditor's got to do their job. They've got to do their job. I'm an auditor myself. We train auditors and we train certification bodies and we train sites as well. And we've got to do a good job. So in fact, it is our duty to raise those non-conformities as and when we find them. Please don't give your auditor a hard time. That's not what this video is about. I'm not suggesting that you argue with your auditor, but I in fact do want to encourage you to have some healthy debate. All right, so this is what this video is for. Do challenge non-conformities if they're silly or if they are unfair. Okay, the auditor sometimes needs this. There have been a number of times in the past where I've thought that something is a non-conformity and the site then just explains further and I realize, oh darn, I misunderstood. Not a problem. And I really appreciated that it was explained to me, because the last thing I want to do is raise a stupid non-conformity that makes me look like a silly auditor. All right, so healthy debate is a good thing. I really want to encourage it. All right. There are, in fact, 3 really good reasons why you should do this, why you shouldn't accept a silly or an unfair non-conformity. The first thing is the auditor, as I said, doesn't want to look stupid, but you also don't want that auditor to go and raise those same non-conformities with other sites in the future. Can you see how you keeping quiet, if you're the site, really could perpetuate this problem and cause problems for other sites as well? That's just silly, right? Correct it by debating with the auditor. The other thing is that you don't want to end up with a monster of a product safety and quality management system. And this is what happens year on year on year. Sites think to themselves, well, it's okay. I'll let the auditor have that non-conformity. I'm still going to get my AA grade, so I'm not too bothered. I'll let them have it. The auditor's got to find something, right? So you kind of let it go. But you then have to put in place corrective and preventive actions for that silly non-conformity, which ends up year after year in creating a monster of a quality management system that takes up unnecessary time and resources for your business. So that's another really good reason not to do that, right? And the third thing is it's good learning. It's good learning for the auditor. It's good learning for you as well to be able to have that professional, healthy debate. So that's why I really want to encourage it. I'm not talking about arguing. I'm talking about healthy debate. Now, don't forget, at some point, you've got to drop it, right? The auditor is going to make up their minds and either raise it or not raise it. The thing, though, is that if you're still not happy, you've got 2 options. You can complain on the day of the closing meeting. You can go ahead and you can complain to the certification body, and they will get someone independent to look into it for you. CBs are great at doing this. We see it being done, and they will take an independent and fair view of the situation. They'll talk to you, they'll talk to the auditor, and they will make a call. So make use of that facility. There is also a second option, which is a formal appeal option. This is in writing within 7 calendar days of receiving your certification decision. Now, the CB's got a deadline to issue your cert, that's the certification decision, and issue your certificate within 42 days of your audit being completed. Now, nobody actually uses that, or it's very rare to use that formal appeal process, because if you're unhappy, are you really going to wait 42 days? Unlikely, but there is that formal appeal process. And again, it's done independently where someone will take a look and make a fair call. All right. So you've got those 2 processes. But the last thing I just really want to say is that There's another thing that happens. It happens a lot where you get a non-conformity during the audit. And by the way, the auditor must give you a heads up as and when they find non-conformities. They can't save it till the closing meeting. Do challenge that if that ever happens, because it's not allowed, or our BRC doesn't allow that. But let's go back to what I was saying, which was you get a non-conformity during the audit, so you quickly go and you fix it, and then you expect your auditor to drop the non-conformity. Auditors are not obliged to drop non-conformities if they are valid. Please don't put your auditor under any undue pressure to drop non-conformities. It's hard enough as it is to raise the non-conformities. It's hard enough on the auditor. They hate it. It's not comfortable. It's horrible giving, bad news to people. It's hard enough as it is. They might do it. I want to acknowledge that auditors do sometimes drop non-conformities. It happens. But that's where they've decided that is not worth raising or that it's not valid. If you go ahead and you quickly fix the non-conformity, present the evidence, and then expect them not to raise it, then that is unfair of you as a business to put such pressure on the auditor. By all means, go ahead and fix the non-conformity really quickly. That is great. If by the closing meeting, the auditor decided for good reason not to raise a particular non-conformity, that's up to them. And that's at the closing meeting. Please don't expect it to happen because that's just not fair on the auditor. All right, I hope that helps. I hope that gives a balanced view on behalf of the site and the auditor. And I hope your audits go really well. Take care.